a bag on his head. Said he already did. It's a brand new Glock 19. Put that beam on his head. These niggas be bitches, huh? I can tell that they scared. They get caught in that jam. I know they gon' tell. It's a bag on his head. Said he already did. It's a brand new Glock 19. Put a beam on his head. These niggas be bitches. I can tell that they scared. I know they get caught in that jam.
Let's get it. Aye.
I know they gon' tell.
Aye.
Said they already did.
Walk in, seat on his head, bag on his head, he know that he dead. Bag sell for me crying, he stressed. I saw the left bag, he took the thread, into the dead. Glock to his head, tearing his face, down in a line, out of distress. It's my turn, hold the bat, I'm going in.
Alright, welcome to another episode of Anything Goes with Don. I got my man Swavincente on today with me.
What's up? What's goody, nigga?
You know, artist on the label. You know, give it up for him. I also have a couple of his people. I got Devyn on with me today, and I got Ocsar, a.k.a. What'd you say? Red Dot? Motherfucking Red Dot on. You know what I'm saying?
What's up?
Cold-blooded out here.
What's up?
But yeah, so like I said, you know, today's episode we're gonna talk about a couple different things. As always, you know, this is not a podcast for kids, so I don't want to hear nothing. You know, no bad reviews. I'm letting you know now before the cursing starts. So,
yeah, because my mouth is not the best.
Before we get into the topics for the night, I want to just open the floor to y'all. Anybody want to introduce themselves to the people?
What's up, guys? It's your boy, the artist known as Swavincente. You can find me on Instagram, the artist known as Swavincente. I got a couple songs out right now called Pain with Swag and Be More. And then I got a song out called War Ready with Glock 60 and Don Boogie. So just keep your eyes peeled and keep your eyes locked because there's big things happening for Infinite Records. Stay up, niggas.
We definitely going to drop that for the end of the show. Let me turn my attention to my left.
Turn your attention to the left. I'm just a cheerleader. I'm here by association.
All right. So, like I said, we're going to jump into the first topic. So, we're going to talk about this Jeffrey Dahmer character. You know.
He did a lot of fucked up shit, bro.
So, I mean, let me start off by saying, you know, I don't want to talk about it too much, like, because I don't want to, like, you know, give it any, I don't want to give it any energy or anything like that, but I do think there are certain things that I do want to discuss as far as, you know, how, you know, as, like we were talking earlier, it just seems like, you know, if you kill a motherfucker, chop him up and eat him, like, you know, you get a motherfucking documentary, but, you know, when certain things happen to certain people, you know, we don't get shit, like, you know, a motherfucker get choked out in the middle of the street, you know what I mean? Where's the documentary for that guy? Like, you know, where's the documentary for, like, actual things that deserve a documentary? Like, actually, like, tragic things that, you know, people did. I feel like, you know, if anything, the victim should have more so got a documentary, like, just saying, like, you know, what happened. But, I don't know, I just feel like as a culture sometimes, you know, we do really cling to, like, really kind of sick things and, like, really give fame to things that really don't even deserve it, because at the end of the day, you know, regardless of, you know, by us watching it, by us, you know, talking about it, retweeting it, like giving it those legs, you know, it's making it money when it really doesn't deserve to. But like I said, you know, that's just my opinion. So I want to open the floor up to you guys. I'm going to start with Devyn because I feel like you have the most to say about the, you know, the like topic at hand.
I'm probably one of the most opinionated in this room. So, yeah.
It just is what it is.
As far as the series itself goes, I will not be watching it. They did not ask for permission to make it, and they did not compensate the people for making money off of their trauma and off of their awful experiences, and that's really unacceptable. And as far as him and his story itself, it just goes to show you that even though it's 2022, like, this happened how long ago, and people of color are not any safer. Like, it doesn't even have to be serial killers anymore. And I feel like the reason that the Dahmer series is so prominent and why it's such a talking point right now is because our society as a whole is miserable. We have so much crap on TV that involves watching other people's lives and their problems and their dramas that we involve ourselves in other people's issues to get away from whatever we've got going on. So anytime we have a chance to put our attention into someone else's misery and someone else's issues and look at it as entertainment, it means we as a whole don't have to look at ourselves and what we have going on, and that's always the easier option. So that's my opinion. I don't even know why we're still having the series and all of this going on. Part of the problem with America and part of the reason we have these awful people is because when they do these atrocious acts and do these awful things, this is the publicity they get. How long ago did this happen? We are in 2022 and people are still making movies and series and all sorts of things about this man.
But ignorance sells. It's sad to say it, but, like the fucking Squid Games, like, like,
I didn't watch that either.
I didn't watch that.
Hey, I'm fucking slaughtering people. Like,
I didn't watch it. Look, if it's mainstream and it's on everybody's mouth, it is of no interest to me. Squid Games, Game of Thrones, Dahmer, all of it. I've never seen any of it.
My parents are dying to get me to watch the Game of Thrones, and I'm like, right.
I'm not gonna
Even
lie.
you.
Game of Thrones is that shit. I can't even hold you.
I
like shit like that. Like, to me, it's
So
just
you
like,
watch The Lord of the Rings?
nah, they watch.
I haven't watched
So
it.
how can you watch Game of Thrones when I watch Lord of the
Because it's different.
Rings? It's not different. It's the same.
Lord of the Rings is about the rings or whatever. You know what I mean?
No,
But
nigga, it's
Game
about
of-
the one
no.
ring, the one powerful ring that
Can
you
I
gotta
just-
take to Mount Mordor.
Can I just say this podcast isn't about that, though? Like that. We are way off topic.
I know. Swavincente, they fucking yelling in the mic and shit.
I'm a big dog, big lion.
Yeah, I just want to say another one of my biggest issues with this is, like I said, this just encourages people to continue to be horrible people, because every time somebody does something awful, what do they get? They get their names and their pictures in the paper and on the news, and they're getting talked about, and everybody knows their name, everybody knows their face. And a lot of times, more often than not, a lot of psychopaths, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that legendary status of being talked about 20, 30, 40 years later, and everyone knows their name. And so when you make these series and these documentaries and you make these shows and you bring these people back to life and bring them back to relevancy, you are just proving that if you decide to be an awful enough person and you decide to do awful enough things, you too can have your name in history. Why are we promoting that?
How you feel about this, Oscar?
I agree with her, actually. And I was about to say, after so long,
Smart man.
it's still like the wrong focus after so many years. Like, instead of focusing on him, focus on the trauma that he caused on the victims. Give it a different perspective instead of giving them credit for doing these crimes.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, like, you see some horrible shit on Netflix, on like TV, like, and people, that shit makes money, like, and to me, it's really like sickening, like, you know what I mean? That people really benefit off of like horrible acts like that, But end of the day,
This is America.
this
This is America.
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 That's funny. Swavincente, you have anything you want to share on the matter?
At the end of the day, if you keep this man relevant, he's just gonna live forever. He's gonna have that immortality that he was looking for when he died. Even though he probably won't admit it, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with her 100%. So at the end of the day, if you keep giving these monsters the relevancy that they are seeking, they'll never go away, and people will still want to commit these horrible crimes just so they can live forever. You know what I'm saying?
And like I've actually seen posts where people said apparently the point of like the series itself was to like show the victims and show what happens and to kind of like, I guess, bring awareness to how he was luring boys and men into his home, because for a lot of women that is still a relevant thing that women have to worry about. So, like, I understand also where they were, if that was,
but my thing, if they had good intention.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They would have broke bread.
If that was their intentions, then they failed miserably, because it could have went about a whole different way than that right there. Like, how they did it is just completely 110% incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Netflix is kind of like McDonald's. Like, even if you see some shit you don't like, you're like, yo, that's really fucked up. Like, you still gonna pay that Netflix bill because Netflix is just so big. Like, in a sense, like, all right, look.
I'll pay that shit.
If you go to McDonald's, right, you're trying to get a fucking McChicken and a fry, right? Because you know who doesn't go to fucking McDonald's every now and then.
With
you
the
know,
extra mayo.
Yeah, so you go to McChicken, you go to McDonald's, right? And you get fucking horrible service, like they don't even fucking exist, you know? You're gonna be like, yo, fuck that, But eventually, you're probably still gonna go back because like it's McDonald's.
I will probably go back to a different one, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah,
but you're still gonna spend that money with McDonald's.
Because I also understand that one building does not just determine the entire franchise or the entire, you know, it would honestly have to be like independently owned for it to be like that kind of situation. But yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Go somewhere else.
McDonald's is where I've got some of the rudest fucking service. Like, I promise you, like, there's been somebody standing at the register on front counter. I try to order. Hold on a second. They're not doing anything at all. Like, literally just standing there, just literally making me wait just because they don't like taking my order yet.
But my thing is, if that's the case, they just didn't piss you off enough. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if they make you mad enough, you will not go there. So clearly, they just
best believe after a while, I just walked the fuck off. You know what I mean? I had a coupon for $1 large fry. You know,